You're listening to 419 Education and Training Need to Connect podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another session of Need to Connect podcast with myself, Devonna Willis, with 419 Education and Training. And today I have the investment guru, Alstria. Did I pronounce it right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. And he is presenting, obviously, at the conference. So, this podcast is all about introducing you to all the speakers and instructors that will be presenting at conference. And it was really important for me this year to have someone to talk to you guys about money. Because as Latoya said on a previous podcast, a lot of the things that we heard last year is that I can't afford it. And that's something that we want to change in our community because it's really important for professional development. So, Alstria, I'll have you take over, tell them who you are, where you're from, and tell us about you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Alstria Compton. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm an investor, an author, and I'm currently back in school for computer science because I love AI, right? But more importantly than AI, I love money. And when I say I love money, not to the point where it makes me corrupt, but to the point where I want to see everybody succeed to be able to buy their freedom. So that's what I do. I coach and teach people how to actually build wealth. I've been doing this for approximately about 8 years. I retired from the military where I actually had to teach officers how to manage their money as well. And I progressed that to the civilian world where I continue to do the same and help more people. I grew up in Chicago, Illinois, and I wound up joining the military, which brought me to North Carolina, which I have been for a while. And I traveled around the world from Dubai to Kuwait to you name it. And miraculously, in all these different places, I wound up teaching people about how to manage their money or how to make money, because understanding that money is not the issue. And if you have a money problem, that's not really the problem because you don't have a problem. And
I like that. So if you have a money problem, you don't really have a problem. So what's the problem?
Exactly. Most times the problem is us. It's the way that we think, the way that we have a relationship with our money. So if our relationship with our money is bad, it's probably going to affect our relationship in our business. It's probably going to affect our relationship with our spouses or our family and friends. So and it's going to affect that relationship with our health, to be honest with you. So now when you fix your relationship with money, you can fix the relationship with everything else by buying back your time, affording the medical care or the massages that you need, because you got to keep that body good, right? And being able to afford to buy back your time so you spend more time with those that you love.
So what it sounds to me is that we need to have more of a money mindset, right? Or just a mindset, because as massage therapists, we're here to educate our clients and our patients on how to take care of their bodies. But in the same token, we need to have the same mindset when it comes to our finances. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is 100% correct.
All right, cool. All right, so I have a few questions that I'm going to ask you in regards to, how this can affect therapists. So a little bit off the cuff. So say we have a lot of single moms who may be a massage therapist and they're struggling on a day-to-day. How would they even start, right? How would they even start with trying to manage something like that?
So a single mom day to day is struggling. They got more money than money, right? So they're probably paying all their bills from a cash or either a debit card or ACH from their bank. Well, one of the ways that they can do this is they can literally get a secure credit card with cashback or reward points. Now they're going to make money by doing so. They can set a budget. One of the most important things. The wealthy set budgets, but we tend to not set budgets because we have all these emergencies, right? So by setting a budget, we can plan for these things and make things not such an emergency. And now limit the amount of liabilities we buy, increase the amount of assets that we buy, and let our assets pay for our liabilities, which now relieves some of that stress that those mothers have, whether it's taking the kids to school, getting them some new shoes, or, just putting food on the table.
Mm-hmm.
This now relieves some of that stress, and we put some of that, because you're going to pay, let's think about this. You're going to pay your electric bill anyway.
Right.
You're going to buy food anyway.
Right.
Now, you say, oh, my credit is bad. That's all right, because if you have a secure credit card, it takes your money anyway. Mm-hmm. So if you was to take your own paycheck, get a secure credit card, now pay your bills with this secure credit card, it's going to give you cash back or reward points. You literally just got paid to pay your bills.
I
now
like
you
that.
Get a little bit more money that you can now make work for you and help your family to live a little bit better.
We had to do when we moved into our house, we had to get a secure credit card to kind of help push up our credit scores. So you just like bringing that back to mind. And I have to be honest, with the secure credit card, obviously our credit score increased because we were paying with it. And I'm like, maybe I need to go back to that. What I do, because I travel a lot teaching and all the, I have credit cards that has reward points for flights. So, my upgrades a couple of weeks ago. Well, I got some upgrades coming to business class, first class. So as a traveler, I definitely like those reward points. Also my hotel reward points, right? So being silver, gold status, getting upgrades. I just got an upgrade this weekend when I was at a conference. For the hotel, got the, city view. I was in Vegas, so I was looking at the Sphere and, so those, but you got to pay your bills back. Like you got to pay it back. Mm-hmm. So that's a credit card versus the secure, but I know about those reward points and everything. I love it.
Yeah, reward points is definitely the way to go. That's just a way. There's multiple ways to be able to do it. Because it comes down to that money mindset as we think about it, right? Mm-hmm. Most parents are going to tell you, and nothing against parents because they didn't know what they didn't know, but they're going to tell you don't get a credit card because it's bad debt. But it's only bad debt if you use it bad. Mm-hmm. If you're going to use that cash anyway, use that cash to put back on your card. There's so many different tips and tricks that you can use to leverage. That's a word that most of us don't use unless we like Jewish or something. Mm-hmm. We say, oh, it's debt, but it's leverage to actually be able to benefit us in the long run, right?
Can you give us an example of a secure credit card that people could look into, at least 2 or 3, if any?
So secure credit card that people can look into, there is actually the Navy Federal card. So the Navy Federal card is one of the credit cards that give you up to $5,000. So you can put up to $5,000 on a Navy Federal credit card. And what happens is that you're spending the $5,000 that you put into there. They're giving you reward points for every dollar that you spend. So you're getting reward points for that. So you're getting paid to pay your bill. So now you can pay your electric bill, your water bill. You may not be able to pay your mortgage. You can pay your rent if it's like a money order or something. Or you can use plastique. That's a way to be able to pay your mortgage if you did, which you take from your credit card. You can get gas, all these different things. That's Navy Federal. Now, in 6 months, Navy Federal is going to look at your credit because they're doing this time to help boosting your credit. Mm-hmm. In 6 months, Navy Federal is going to look at your credit and they're going to say, okay, this person's been paying their credit. They've been paying their card off on time. You know what? Your internal score has risen. Let's give them an unsecured card. Now, in 6 months, what they're going to do is give you your $5,000 back. And depending on your credit level, you may have a $5,000 card line of credit now, or they may increase it to $10,000, right? More depending on your card. So that's the Navy Federal card. There's other cards that may give you some stuff. So you have like the Discovery card. So Discovery gives you some points, but Discovery definitely gives you a hit on your credit as well. But it's not a big hit because again, when you get those inquiries on your credit report, they can literally take a year or 2 years to come off. After the first year, they don't really have big effect on your credit. But the Discover card is a good card. You may go into Credit Karma. You're going to see things like they got the Capital One card. I would urge everybody to stay away from the Capital One card because they're not going to give you enough, let you put enough of your secure money on there to be able to make a big impact. I think the most they'll let you put is probably $500 or $600. But that's the card they'll give to everybody, but it's not going to really help you much. Let me see. There is another card. Now, this card I just learned about this card recently myself, and I applied my son for it last week. Now, this card is a secure card, but it's a secure banking card. So before they're even 18, because my son's 15, they can get this debit card with a credit logo, which gives them 4% cash back. Plus, it actually helps build their credit. So when they turn 18, they'll automatically come out the gate with somewhere around a 700, 750 credit score.
Oh, wow. Is that a bank?
Yep. It's if you went to steps.com, it's a credit builder card.
Steps.com.
Yep.
Okay.
Step.com. I'm sorry.
STEP?
STEP. That's correct.
Okay. All right. So look, you guys got some really great tips right now, trying to get your credit up, and also so you can start applying and getting some cash back so you can feed yourself, feed your family, and have some extra cash, especially just to do things that you want to do and not be bound to because you don't have enough finances. Another question I would like to ask, can you discuss any innovative techniques that they can do to help build their credit? I know we just talked about the cards. Is there something like budgeting, or something innovative that they can do?
So it's all going to come down to budgeting. But before you start budgeting, you have to get the mindset together. And everything boils down to mindset, because you've seen people overweight and they're going to diet, right? And they'll go strictly, I'm eating salads, I'm drinking water, I'm not eating anything sugar, no salt, none of that. And what happens, they'll lose weight drastically. But as soon as they leave that diet, they gain more than what they had before, which is the same exact thing that we'll do with our budget, right? So we have to set a budget. I personally like the 50-30-20 rule. So the 50-30-20 rule says that I'll take 50% of my income, whatever I got come in, that 50% goes to expenses. And some people are like, well, my expenses are a little bit more than that. That's fine, because everything's negotiable. Just talk to your companies and talk. Like, I promise you, they're going to take some money opposed to no money, which is going to help you from getting that negative 30 days or whatever on your credit report, right? Then you take the other 30% and you treat yourself. This 30% is for you to go out and eat, for you to go see a movie, enjoy yourself, those liabilities that you want to buy, because you need to have that sense of balance. And then that 20%, you need to invest. Why do you need to invest 20%? Because the goal is for you not to work until you're 85, but for your money to work until you're 85 and beyond, right? So now if you take that 20% and you put it in, you can put it into stock. I like precious metals myself. You can put it into, some people like cryptocurrency, but whatever real estate, you can't get into a physical building real estate. That's all right. There's something called real estate investment trust. You can go to Fundrise. You can put it into that. Now you're making money. Your money's making money for you. And now you can begin to do better things with your credit, right? You want to look at setting up your bills on automatic payment, right? So if you set it up on automatic payment, what does that do? That'll make sure that you don't have any late bills. So by having an automatic payment, your credit score then begins to go up, because now you have on-time payment. And anybody know about payment history, that's 35% of your credit score.
That's true.
And by having an automatic payment, you now paying your bills on time, your utilization may be lower, because now you can pay it. Let's just say, if I have this is called hiding your utilization, right? So if you have a card that's due on let's just say the 1st of the month, and another card that's due on the 15th of the month, those are your due days. So you take the money from the card that's due on the 15th on the month, and you put it on the card, maybe having a balance transfer, you put it on the card from the 1st on the month. So that card on the 1st is going to report at a low utilization. Now, where you want your utilization, a lot of people are going to tell you, oh, have it at 30. What 30 means is that you're even, you're walking on that line. You're not good, but you're not bad either. So if you went to go try to get a loan, they're probably not going to give you a loan. They're going to be very skeptical if they do. But if you're between 2 and 9%, that's the sweet spot. Your credit score is going to go up, and they're going to be looking to give you money. They're like, hey, take this credit card, please, take this, take our money. Now your credit score is beginning to jump up every single month.
So wait, go back a little bit. So you saying instead of being on a 30%, you want to 2 or 9%?
2 to 9%.
Really? Of your credit card utilization rate?
Correct.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
30% is not bad, but 30% is not giving you any points either.
Right.
2 to 9% is giving you points on your credit score.
Okay. I got work to do.
Then you want to look at, and that's what's going to help that 30% because your utilization is 30% of your credit score. Now, between the two of them, your utilization and your payment history, that's already 65% of your credit score. And you literally just take that card that you paid on the first after the statement date, not the due date, after the statement date, the day after, you can take that money off and put it onto the other card, which now helps the other card report low as well.
Okay, I'm processing. So,
and I know you,
because I'm thinking,
I'm thinking. So there's, I mean, if you took a cash advance, you may get hit with the
cash advance
charges. Yeah, you get some cash advance fees, right? But there's also cards that you can get that got zero balance. There's a website where you can get all the credit cards and everything, and it tells you which credit cards are at 0% interest rate. And now you say, okay.
Is it NAV?
No, it's not.
It's not NAV.
Not NAV. But it tells you. Now I'm gonna have to come back to you and tell you.
No, you'll get it. You'll get it. Question. All right. So you was talking about the 50, 30, 20.
Correct.
So where would I, in that, because I got it's a two-part question. Where would I input my tithes?
Your tithes?
Yes, because you're supposed to get 10% tithes. Is that in
the
30?
It's up to you. I wouldn't say it's in the 30. I would count that tithes as an expense. Right? Because you're going to say, okay, this is a tithes. I know I have to pay this every single month. So I'm going to put my tithes in this expense. So it's expense column, you're going to pay it.
Got it.
If you put it at 30%, you may not pay it.
Got it. Okay. All right. Second question. So our family been doing the Dave Ramsey.
Okay.
Right? So for those who don't understand, the Dave Ramsey's the baby steps, right? So you have all your bills, you look at the interest rate, do what's the smallest bill, so forth and so on, and then you pay. The concept is like, if you pay off the smallest bill, you feel accomplished. You roll over the money that you was paying on the smallest bill into the second one, and you double that, and so forth and so on, till you have no bills. And personally, it did work. It did, and it does, because we're still doing it. It's worked for us. So what's your take? Because his take, obviously, so just to let the people know, if they don't know, that you don't do any investments, and we've done some, and you don't do any investments until you pay off your debt. He's about being debt-free totally. So I want your intake.
Me and Dave Ramsey, we bump heads. Dave Ramsey he's good for a certain type of mindset, right? So at a certain point, you're good. You can use what you're talking about, the snowball method, because you make a snowball, you're rolling a snowball to get bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm pretty much on the opposite. He said, don't buy anything till you out of debt. Well, I'm on the opposite side. I would say you balance it. So you have your debt, you paying debt, but at the same time, you're actually investing, right? So if, for instance, if I was to be paying my 50% and I have a little bit extra money, that is $1, $2, I may be putting this into investments so that they can make me more money, so I can use those dividends to help pay off more debts. And then I'm more of a person that looks for, if I pay off some debts, I'm going to pay the one with the highest interest rate first, because it's taking away more of my money than those smaller ones, right? And the reason being, those smaller ones, they make you feel good emotionally, but if you look at the numbers, they're not making such a big impact if you hit the ones with the biggest interest rates. So the ones with the biggest interest rates is called the avalanche effect, is going to actually make you better. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to make you better, because now you just knocked out a debt that was taking $100 a month from you, opposed to something that was taking away maybe $10 from your month, right? So when it comes down to investing, I say put your money into invest. The earlier you can, the better. Put your earned income into assets and let your assets pay off your liabilities. So if you got your check 9 to 5, you work, you take this check and you go pay all your bills, like Dave Ramsey say, now what do you have to show for it? It's gone.
Being debt free.
Yeah, you feel like you're debt free, right. But next month those same bills coming.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
But if you take that same money you got and we go back to the secure card and you put that money in secure card with the points, now You just paid all your bills still. And that same money you had, you can put it into this car and you're going to pay it back, do the same thing every single month. Now, those additional points of cash back you got, now you go take that and you put it into some type of investment. You put that into stock market. You put that into real estate. And over time, that's going to begin to build up and make you more money. So now you got more assets. Let's just say if you got stock, if you bought a stock that had a dividend of 15 cents and you bought this stock with let's say it gave you $30 every month from cash back. So over time, those 15 cents are going to add up. Now you got enough to go and say, okay, now these 15 cents is going to pay this light bill that I have.
Got it.
So now you just got another $100 that you've been paying the light bill. Then now you can say, you know what? I'm going to go do something else with this and invest. So now I invest that in something else. Maybe I'll put that in the stock market too. And now I buy back my time. So I don't have to go and spend this extra hour. It costs me because that's all money is time. It wouldn't cost me an extra hour at work because now I just bought that hour with this time with this money I just used from the cashback or rewards. And understanding your investment strategy or your investments is going to be strictly and really, really important. And I would urge anybody, and this is anybody, to look at the market right now, like study, and it's something called quadruple witching.
Like a
witch, like with a hat and a broom.
Okay.
Quadruple witching. And I know this may be a little bit off, but it happens 4 times a year. And I don't want anybody to miss this. It happens on the 3rd Friday of March, June, September, and December. And on that 3rd Friday, the stock market is flooded with a bunch of stocks because all these contracts expire, whether it's futures or options, they expire. So it's more contracts or shares on the market than there is buyers, which now supply and demand says that the price is going to be cheaper. So now if you buy it for cheap, now you're getting stocks on a discount and your equity is going to go up. So now you have more money. That's just
okay. I'm gonna look into. Well, we'll be in conversation offline. It's one thing. I'm trying to look at what it's called. It's like using the insurance, and it's like a savings. You know what I'm talking about?
Banking?
Huh?
Infinite banking concept.
Infinite banking. What do you feel about? First, introduce people to what that is, and then let me know what you feel about that. Okay.
So infinite banking is the concept of using life insurance as your savings account to be able to leverage it, not just when you pass away, but use it while you're alive. And it's based off using whole life insurance or index universal life insurance is a type of whole life insurance, but using that insurance to be able to borrow from it in different time frames to buy assets and put the money back. So let's just say, for instance, if I bought a $1 million life insurance policy and I have to pay, and a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'd rather get term because I don't have to pay a lot in term. But term is like car insurance. You pay it 6 months, you don't get anything back, especially if you don't have an accident. Whole life insurance is going to be able to give you a cash value. I mean, you can borrow from the cash value and a death benefit. Now, my grandmother was the first one to use this. Our house got burned up. She literally, that I know of, she borrowed from the life insurance policy and went and got us a new house. And I don't know if anybody know about Chicago, but real estate is super expensive in Chicago. Super expensive. So now you can take that money out of the life insurance policy, borrow from it. There's no tax on it because it's a loan. And that life insurance policy continues to generate income as if you never took money out of it, right? And then you'll have to pay somewhere around 3% interest after 12 months. So
I do have one.
Okay, perfect.
But I haven't, you know what, honestly, I haven't looked at it. It's probably like a year and a half. So I don't think I have that much money in it yet. But I haven't looked.
I would urge you to get 2.
2?
I would urge you to get 2.
Old.
That's okay. It's okay.
Get 2.
You can get 2 and probably get, well, we'll talk about that later.
Okay, we'll talk about it offline. But yeah.
Infinite banking strategy says you can borrow from a life insurance policy, buy an asset, and then once you buy the asset, you can pay back the loan to the life insurance policy because from the asset that you buy. Or you can, because if you don't have a life insurance policy, if you have a savings account and you have $100,000 in there and you borrow from that $100,000 from the savings account to go and buy something, it's gone. So now you got to work back up to $100,000. But you don't have to do that when you have an insurance policy, because the insurance policy is going to take care of you. And again, if you don't pay it back, what happens? You had let's say a $500,000 policy. You don't pay it back. Okay, I borrowed $100,000. Your death gratuity is now $400,000.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win situation, and it's the best savings account you'll ever get, because again, you're gonna get anywhere from 4 to 12% depending on the company and the time and your health. Now, some banks may give you 4%, but how many of them are giving you 5 or 6% APY of that? It's just not happening. Now, true. Your bank, they're gonna say, look, we need to give you take these fees out, these maintenance fees, and all these different things. So you actually losing money in the bank. Well, life insurance, you're making money. Yeah, you may pay $100 a month, and you pay that $100. A portion may go to the insurance company, a portion may go to the agent, but you're building up a cash value with a significant amount. So just imagine if you had a child that's 5 years old and you got this policy for them, that policy is probably going to cost somewhere less than $50.
That's true.
A month. So now if you're doing this $50 a month, let's say if you got them two policies, $50 a month, that's $100 for both policies. In 2 years, if it's just a regular whole life insurance policy, you can borrow from that. If it's an index universal life insurance policy, it's going to take 5 to 6 years. Then you can borrow from that. Now, let's just say 5 years old, they turn 18. Now, yes, 13 years later, you got a compound interest of what, let's say 5%. 5% over 18 years, when you're paying $50 a month, I guarantee it's going to be six figures. Guarantee it. Now, what would you rather give your child? Would you rather give them a car, a vacation, or give them the knowledge and this life insurance policy? And you got two. So guess what? You're the parent. You're the custodian of it. So now you can use that until they turn 18 and pay it back. You can buy real estate with it. You can buy different things with it. A business, start your business, fund your business, whatever you want to do with it. You can even use it as leverage because of the equity that you have into it to get a line of credit from certain banks.
Ooh, you preaching. Hello, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share our 419 Education and Training Need to Connect podcast. So a lot of this probably go over some of you guys' head, and this is why he's going to be there. It's a lot. It's a lot, you know, because it took me a minute to understand the whole infinite banking for a minute. And then when it clicked, I'm like, I got it. But it takes a minute, because if you're not speaking that lingo, remember, we're coming from massage brain, you know, health, muscles, you know, financing, CPA, all of that stuff. That's just like, I can't even. That was one of the things. So as a business owner, that was one of the first things. I was like, I need a bookkeeper and an accountant, because I'm not doing it. Why spend all that time? The time you spend on figuring out is the time you could just make enough, have an extra person or two on your schedule to be able to pay for your bookkeeper or accountant, right? Right? You know what I'm saying? That's the mindset, like, you know. But anyway, but I also did it because being an entrepreneur, not necessarily having, you know, working at 9 to 5, having that 401k, so forth and so on. I wanted to build this, you know, as well as, you know, the stocks that we had and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's good. So he's going to be there. So he is going to be speaking, and he also going to have a vendor table for you to speak to him in person, so you can, you know, schedule a consultation or what have you, because obviously he knows what he's talking about, right? So question, Black community. Where are we? I know we have brothers like you out here helping us out with the kindness of your heart. But as a whole, where are we today in 2024 as a Black community, period, in our finances? Are we better than we were, right? Because if you think of it, you know, if your mom or your parents probably baby boomers, right? And so I don't feel like they really told us too much. And then so we're the generation that's trying to, give back and educate our younger generations. So where are we as a community?
I would say we can't blame our elders because they didn't know what they didn't know, right? My
That's
first concept of finances was my grandmother was walking down the street and she told me to pick up a penny. And I was like, it's a penny. I'm not picking it up. She said, pick that penny up. I was like, why? She's like, 99 more, you got $1. Now, that is compound interest
right.
at its finest. We as a Black community have a miseducated mindset, if not poor mindset. And what I mean is there's three different mindsets. A poor mindset is we think that as soon as we get $1 or anything, we need to pay a bill. And not to say not to pay your bills, but if you put all your money to bills and not use the concepts like the credit card or the investments or budgeting, then what are you doing? All your money's going to bills and it's gone. And when you leave this earth, you're going to have bills. Then you have the miseducated mindset. The financially miseducated mindset says that, oh, most of us entrepreneurs are like this. Say, oh, I worked hard. I'm tired. I worked all these hours. I deserve this vacation. I deserve this coat. I deserve this car. I deserve this house. And we spend the money on it. And then we don't really enjoy the vacation because we had a 10-day vacation. 8 days were good. The last 2 days, we thinking about how we're going to make the money back and we got to go back to work and all this, right? We thinking about we're waiting for Friday to get around so we can get a break, but every day should be Friday. Every day you should be making money while you're on vacation. But the only way to do that is to have the financially educated mindset, which is it doesn't matter if it's $1 or it's $1 million. That mindset is, how do I make this money make money for me? So Robert Kiyosaki, he does it best, and I just did it myself as well. To get a Jaguar for a family member, right?
Hey.
Opposed, they like, oh, I want a Jaguar for my birthday. So opposed to me going and buy it, I thought about it. I was like, nope. So I went and purchased a building. I went and purchased the duplex.
Did you?
Yes.
Instead of the Jaguar that loses exactly. Value as soon as you pull off the lot.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I purchased a duplex that needs to be rehabbed. And this is a play, right? Purchase the building that needs to be rehabbed. The building cost me $49,000. The building needs $120,000 in work. So that's what, $160,000, $170,000, right? So the building appraised for $300,000. The bank gave me 75% of the after repair value. 75% of $300,000 is $225,000.
You made your money already.
If I subtract that $170,000, that still leaves me about, what's that, 55,000, somewhere around there. So now I got $55,000. I have two renters in the property, both of them paying $1,500 each. The mortgage on the property is $1,500. So I got a cash flow of $1,500 plus that $55,000 that I got. It was a loan from the bank to put a mortgage on that property. So guess what? I don't have to pay any taxes on it. So now that Jaguar, here's $55,000 for the Jaguar. Plus, if I want to get a note on it, there's $1,500 a month to pay for the Jaguar.
Got it. You're making your money work for yourself.
So no money came out of my pocket to pay for this. And I just literally leveraged my credit or lines of credit to even get the bill. And then that paid for itself.
All right. So I hope a lot of you guys rewind what he said and start taking notes. It's a lot of note taking on this podcast episode because he's dropping a lot of gold nuggets. Wow. I'm even thinking too, like, all right, we got to get ourselves together. So we're going to be talking to you.
Just wait. When we get to the conference, I got so much.
Yeah. Much. I'm excited. So we're going to end with one more question. So any educational resources specifically to financing and investment that you think that we should be getting, whether it's from you, because you're your own business, or some other book that, we should be reading?
So I'm always biased. I'm going to always be biased.
And show us what you got.
That's my new book, The Legacy of a Silver Spoon, Managing Wealth and Relationships.
Okay.
This book breaks down how to build wealth, whether it's through just simply budgeting, using life insurance, the infinite banking concept, using stock market, and it all ties everything together with trust, whether you're in cryptocurrency, and building it not just for you as an individual, but also your family, right? Because it takes a village to raise a person, right? So it takes a village for us to build. So that's the number one book I would say get, but I would also say get The Psychology of Money. Psychology of Money is definitely going to be a very resourceful book for you to get your mindset together. And I like games. So games, check out Rich Dad's Poor Dad Cash Flow Game. Don't just play the game. Think about what the cards and everything is saying. Okay. It says it makes you make decisions like, do I loan my brother-in-law $500,000 so he can buy this house, or do I keep the money, say no? Think now it makes us think like, oh, that may be an asset. That's a bad deal. Or do I, when I take a loan from a property, I got to pay 10% every time I get paid. So it forces you to think. You have to write out income statement, your liabilities, doing your budget sheet, everything. So now in real life, you begin to think about these things when you have family members, friends, when you go at the store, when you're in that line right there, when they got all the snacks and everything right there at the checkout, like, that look good right there. Is that a liability or is that an asset?
Right.
So you have to think about those things. So that's a good game. Those are two good books. And I recommend for anybody, if you just get into Charles Schwab, you want to get in the stock market, go into Charles Schwab, get your account. It costs nothing. They have a lot of education in Charles Schwab. So you can learn about ETFs. You can learn about individual stocks. You can learn about indexes. Learn about these different things and any investment before you get into it. Because education in yourself is going to be the best investment, because you just invest without educating yourself, you're going to fall flat on your face. I promise you. And Charles Schwab is also good because they have an app that calls Think or Swim. And in Think or Swim, it allows you to get, I think it's like $200,000 in play money where you can learn to trade. And there's always YouTube where you can go out there and learn how to take care of your body. And because if your body's broken, what else are you going to do? And I would tell you to go to the Black Massage Therapy Conference, because they're going to tell you better than I can tell you how to fix your body, keep your body going. Because if your body break down, it don't matter how much money you got, because you're going to spend it all trying to get healthy. So if your body lasting forever, because if you break like a rubber band, trust me, and I'm talking from experience, because I ruptured my patella tendon because I hated to stretch. I was a runner, jumping out of airplanes, doing everything I could in the military for 20 years, and I ruptured my patella tendon because I didn't like to stretch.
And so we preach about stretching, but also a lot of us don't preach self-care or do it for themselves. So that's the problem when I'm seeing. So when I'm teaching and, you're in my class and we're talking about the lymphatic system or stretching or whatever, and I'm like, when's the last time you received a massage? And it's like cue crickets in the class. I might get one or two be like, oh, I got it a couple of weeks ago or whatever. But a lot of you guys don't take care of yourself. So you have to take care of your body, and you also have to take care of your finances. Really quick on the Charles Schwab, another app people have been using is Robinhood. How do you feel about that one? No?
Okay. So Robinhood is not real time. Okay. So if you notice you buy something Robinhood, you see it say it's like NVIDIA. NVIDIA was at like 123 when it opened this morning, but if you went to go buy it in Charles Schwab, it may be like 123.20 or something. So you're not getting the real time purchase of it. So you're paying a little bit extra on it.
Okay. All right. That's good information. Well, I really appreciate you. Trust me, I really appreciate you showing up for us, being on this podcast, educating. It was a lot of nuggets. I'm praying people wrote it down or rewatch what they missed, because it was a lot of information, and we look forward in having you. And thank you. So just as a reminder for the conference, number one, we have t-shirts that says I am Black History, and on the black it says Black Massage Therapist Conference. No, Black Massage Therapist, sorry. So I am Black History, and then Black Massage Therapist. Number two, your hotel, right? So the hotel is on the website. Its discounted price is $165 per night, and you have queen. So if you double queen, so if you want to share with somebody, you guys split the cost. That's how you save some money. We have school grant, because we had a school actually pay for a student to attend for free. So fill out that grant. It's literally just for the conference, not we're not paying for your flight or anything like that or your hotel stay. And then we also have a business grant, and that's through ABNP. They're one of our sponsors this year, and they are sponsoring $1,000 business grant. So please fill out application out. Everything is on our website, www.blackmassagetherapist.com. So thanks again. I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Bye.
Bye.